In a world where alliances shift overnight, one nation stands out for building friendships that actually last. And in 2025, Singapore isn't just respected, it's supported by some of the world's most powerful countries. But why do these nations stand firmly behind this tiny island state? The answer reveals a global story of trust, strength, and influence that most people never see. Today, we're diving into a fascinating topic: the top countries that always support Singapore in 2025. From global superpowers to regional partners, these nations value Singapore's leadership, stability, and world-class governance. Whether it's defense, technology, or economic ties, each country has a unique reason for standing with Singapore. So sit tight, because this list may surprise you. Before we begin, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, and like this video. Your support helps us create more powerful content just like this. Let's get started. Switzerland. Switzerland's relationship with Singapore is built on mutual respect for stability, efficiency, and economic excellence. Both nations share world-class financial sectors known for transparency, strong regulations, and investor confidence. Switzerland supports Singapore through deep banking collaboration, technological cooperation, and strong diplomatic ties. Swiss companies view Singapore as a strategic Asian headquarters thanks to its low corruption, strong legal system, and highly skilled workforce. In return, Singapore trusts Switzerland's expertise in finance, innovation, and sustainability. Both countries also work together on trade, education partnerships, and global governance issues. Their shared values of neutrality, peace, and high-quality governance make the partnership resilient. Even in global uncertainty, Switzerland consistently stands with Singapore. 14. Qatar. Qatar is one of Singapore's strongest partners in the Middle East, driven by energy cooperation, trade, and long-term economic investments. Singapore relies on Qatar for LNG supplies, which support its energy security. In return, Qatar views Singapore as a reliable technological and financial hub in Asia. Both nations collaborate in aviation, shipping, infrastructure development, digital transformation, and food security. Qatar Airways and Changi Airport maintain one of the region's strongest aviation connections. Qatar also appreciates Singapore's political neutrality, clean governance, and efficient institutions, values that align with Qatar's modernization goals. Their cooperation continues to expand in 2025, making Qatar a consistent supporter of Singapore on global platforms and economic decisions. 13. United Arab Emirates, UAE. The UAE and Singapore enjoy a powerful partnership rooted in logistics, energy, trade, and global connectivity. Dubai and Singapore are often compared as two of the world's most influential hubs for travel, shipping, and business. Both countries promote innovation, smart city development, and economic diversification, making their collaboration natural and mutually beneficial. The UAE supports Singapore by expanding bilateral investments, strengthening aviation links through Emirates and Singapore Airlines, and working together on green energy solutions. Singaporean companies are heavily involved in UAE infrastructure and technology projects. The UAE also views Singapore as a role model in efficiency and governance. Their shared vision for global competitiveness ensures strong and consistent support. 12. Malaysia. Despite occasional disagreements, Malaysia is one of the countries that consistently supports Singapore due to deep economic integration, shared history, and close cultural ties. Millions of people travel between both countries each month for work, education, and tourism. Singapore is one of Malaysia's biggest investors, especially in manufacturing, technology, and services. Malaysia supports Singapore through energy supply, food imports, joint security operations, and strategic cooperation in ASEAN. Both nations work together on counterterrorism, regional stability, and climate policies. Their economies are so interconnected that success for one benefits the other. Even with differences, Malaysia recognizes Singapore's value as a stable, innovative, and economically powerful neighbor, maintaining strong support in 2025. 11. Indonesia. Indonesia and Singapore maintain one of Southeast Asia's most important partnerships, grounded in trade, investment, and regional leadership. Indonesia supports Singapore because of long-term cooperation on maritime security, aviation, energy, and high-value investments. Singapore is one of the largest foreign investors in Indonesia, contributing to job creation and infrastructure growth. Both countries collaborate on protecting sea lanes, combating illegal activities, and ensuring ASEAN's unity. Indonesia values Singapore's technology, education, and urban development expertise. Meanwhile, Singapore respects Indonesia's strategic role as the region's largest economy. Their partnership is stable, pragmatic, and continually expanding, making Indonesia a consistent supporter of Singapore's political and economic direction in 2025. 10. India. India strongly supports Singapore due to shared economic interests, cultural ties, and long-term cooperation in defense, technology, and education. Singapore is one of India's biggest sources of foreign investment, while Indian companies enjoy Singapore's business-friendly environment. Both countries collaborate on smart city projects, digital innovation, fintech, and skill development. Defense ties are particularly strong, with joint military training and maritime coordination in the Indian Ocean. India also values Singapore's role as a trusted mediator in ASEAN and global diplomacy. Their people-to-people connections, through education, tourism, and Indian diaspora, further strengthen support. In 2025, India consistently sees Singapore as a strategic partner for growth, stability, and regional influence. 9. New Zealand. New Zealand and Singapore share a long-standing partnership built on trust, trade, and strong diplomatic values. Both countries believe in free trade, educational cooperation, environmental sustainability, and high governance standards. New Zealand supports Singapore through joint defense agreements, agricultural supply partnerships, and science and technology collaboration. The Singapore-New Zealand Closer Economic Partnership remains one of the most advanced trade agreements in the region. New Zealand also relies on Singapore as a gateway to Asian markets, while Singapore benefits from New Zealand's food security support and clean energy expertise. Their shared commitment to rules-based international order ensures that New Zealand is a consistent and reliable supporter of Singapore in 2025. 8. Canada. Canada's support for Singapore is rooted in respect for efficient governance, transparent business practices, and mutual economic growth. Both countries collaborate in education, health innovation, clean technology, cybersecurity, and global peacekeeping efforts. Canada sees Singapore as a trusted partner in the Indo-Pacific region, especially when navigating complex geopolitical changes. Trade ties between the two nations continue to grow through agreements like CPTPP, giving businesses strong incentives to deepen cooperation. Singaporean students, investors, and companies have a strong presence in Canada, strengthening cultural and economic bridges. Canada's democratic stability and long-term foreign policy consistency ensure strong support for Singapore in 2025 across multiple sectors. 7. France. France values Singapore as a strategic partner in Southeast Asia, supporting it through defense cooperation, technology transfers, aviation partnerships, and cultural exchanges. Companies like Airbus, Total Energies, and major French luxury brands maintain deep investments in Singapore. Defense ties are particularly strong, with Singapore conducting military training in France and purchasing advanced equipment. Both nations collaborate on climate policy, renewable energy, science research, and digital governance. France sees Singapore as a stable, trusted, and influential voice in ASEAN. Their shared interest in global security and economic innovation ensures that France consistently supports Singapore's diplomatic and strategic goals in 2025. 6. Germany. Germany and Singapore enjoy a mature partnership grounded in technology, industrial innovation, and high-quality engineering. Germany supports Singapore through strong economic investments, advanced manufacturing cooperation, and shared leadership in green energy transition. Companies like BMW, Siemens, and Bosch hold major operations in Singapore, using it as a base for Asian expansion. Singapore respects Germany's technological expertise and world-class engineering, creating a reliable framework for collaboration. Both countries cooperate on vocational training, development, cybersecurity, and sustainability. Germany sees Singapore as an efficient, stable, and innovation-driven hub, making it a nation that consistently backs Singapore's growth and global influence in 2025. 5. South Korea. South Korea supports Singapore because both nations share similar development journeys, rising from limited resources to global economic powerhouses. Their partnership is based on trade, digital innovation, smart city solutions, and cultural exchange. Major Korean companies like Samsung, Hyundai, and LG operate significantly in Singapore. Defense collaboration is growing, especially in maritime security and technology. Singaporeans also play a major role in Korea's tourism and business sectors, while Korean culture has a strong presence in Singapore. Both countries believe in global cooperation, technological advancement, and stability. South Korea consistently supports Singapore's regional strategies, making their partnership one of Asia's most future-focused relationships in 2025. 4. Japan. Japan has been one of Singapore's strongest allies for decades, supporting it through economic cooperation, technological development, and diplomacy. Japanese companies are some of Singapore's largest investors, especially in electronics, real estate, finance, and logistics. Both nations collaborate on smart cities, robotics, clean energy, and high-speed transportation research. Defense ties remain strong, with joint maritime security initiatives and strategic dialogue over regional stability. Japan appreciates Singapore's neutrality, predictability, and leadership in ASEAN. Their relationship is built on mutual trust, respect, and shared values, making Japan a country that consistently supports Singapore in global forums and economic initiatives throughout 2025. 3. Australia. Australia and Singapore maintain one of the closest bilateral relationships in the Asia-Pacific region. Their comprehensive strategic partnership includes defense cooperation, military training, trade agreements, education exchange, and digital collaboration. Thousands of Singaporean troops train in Australia every year due to land availability and mutual trust. Australia supports Singapore through food security, energy cooperation, and aviation links. Meanwhile, Singapore invests heavily in Australian real estate, education, and infrastructure. Both countries share a commitment to regional security, open trade, and a rules-based order. Australia consistently backs Singapore's role in ASEAN and global diplomacy, making their partnership exceptionally strong in 2025. 2. United Kingdom. The United Kingdom remains one of Singapore's most consistent supporters due to strong historical ties, shared governance principles, and growing economic cooperation. Their relationship includes defense agreements, legal collaboration, educational ties, and major investments in finance and technology. The UK-Singapore Digital Economy Agreement and trade deals have significantly strengthened business links. British companies rely on Singapore as their gateway to Asia, while Singaporean investors see the UK as a trusted and stable market. Both countries work together on cybersecurity, climate policy, and global security. Their relationship remains strategic, stable, and mutually beneficial, ensuring strong British support for Singapore in 2025. 1. United States. The United States is one of Singapore's most important global partners, providing support in security, trade, technology, and diplomacy. Their defense relationship is among the strongest in Asia, with Singapore allowing U.S. military presence for regional stability. The U.S. values Singapore's neutrality, innovation, and trusted financial system. American companies are deeply invested in Singapore, including Google, Apple, Microsoft, and major pharmaceutical firms. Both nations collaborate on AI development, cybersecurity, climate initiatives, and maritime security. The U.S. sees Singapore as a key ally in maintaining balance in the Indo-Pacific. In 2025, the United States remains a consistent, strategic, and deeply committed supporter of Singapore.